our institutions that govern and support the prevention of HIV and AIDS are effective. So, Your Excellency, what have been the achievements down the line? And over the last 3 years, this is the 6th report since we started, and we've been reporting to you. But overall, there is the reduction in new HIV infections by 45%, from 68,000 infections annually in 2017, and by December 2023, we had 38,000 new HIV infections. It means within a period of 12 months, that's the number of people who became infected. Your Excellency, to highlight, 15,000 of these were young people between the age of 18 to 24. We have 4,700 children between ages 0 to 14. So while we have the technology to stop babies getting HIV, we still have quite a number that is still getting HIV. So I've picked a few examples, Your Excellency, to illustrate the work, the tremendous that has been going on under your leadership. Under Pillar 1 of engaging men, in the year under review, Uganda was able to achieve 92, 90, 94. 92, 90, 94. Remember, the target is 95, 95, 95 by 2025. Your Excellency, last year, we reported you the achievement was 90, 94, 94. So there is a deterioration in the first 90, that is testing. There is an improvement in the second 90 of getting HIV positives on treatment. And then there is no change in the third 90, making sure that people swallow their medicines and are able to suppress the virus. Your Excellency, a total of approximately 9 million individuals were tested for HIV in the year under review, which was an increase from 6.8 million the previous year. And out of those tested, 144,000 were diagnosed with HIV, and 95% of those were enrolled on treatment. Amongst adolescent girls and young women, the different programs were able to reach more than 500,000 adolescent girls and young children, and I'm about to go through some of them. We've had distribution of HIV prevention messages, Your Excellency. We have used the Parish Development Model Platform by giving messages to the Secretariat, and as they go out, they make sure that the parish committees incorporate this. We've targeted persons with disabilities and other vulnerable groups, and we think that people living with HIV across the country, as they have just been presenting to you, can tap into this program of PDM, because we know that when you improve welfare and cushion households against poverty, you are ultimately preventing new HIV infections. Your Excellency, as Uganda AIDS Commission, we've also taken note of the socio-economic strengthening initiatives, including vocational training, village saving schemes, and that, you know, we know that, again, are cushioning the population against HIV and AIDS. The presidential initiative on skilling for young people, when we looked at the data from the team that's doing, the report we got is that they have reached 13,200 young people in 22 skilling hubs in the country, and each hub trains an average of 600 youth every year. And again, I highlight this because HIV cannot just be managed as a public health condition alone. It is poverty eradication initiatives like this that will help us achieve the goal. Your Excellency, on your instruction, when we were in Rukunjiri, you told us, go and kukuba enduru, which is making an alarm about HIV and AIDS. We've developed an HIV prevention and control message handbook for community leaders And all RDCs, RCCs, their deputies and assistants have been handed this. They are able to use it during the radio talk shows and during that they have on various media platforms. These messages will also be distributed to schools, universities, religious institutions, and cultural institutions. Our intention is to translate this in the different languages of Uganda and continue to disseminate them to the grassroots. Your Excellency, on the goal of accelerating test and treat, I have just gone through where we are in terms of the 95, 95, 95. So I'm not going to repeat that one. On the third instruction of consolidating mother-to-child transmission, again, the one area, Your Excellency, to highlight and request for your input is the babies, the 4,700 babies that contracted HIV from their mothers in the previous year. Although this is a reduction from 5,900 in the previous year, it still shouldn't happen. We think that most of this happened because of stigma and discrimination at household and community level, but this can be reduced to zero as it's being observed in some health facilities. So, Your Excellency, here the issue is around the different leaders messaging about, the technologies and innovations available in the health facility and urging communities to use the services as much as possible. Your Excellency, the fourth directive of financial sustainability, I would like to especially thank you on this, because when we look at the total budget mobilized for the national HIV response, including the budget from donors, for the previous year was approximately 2.6 trillion. This is close to the budget for the health sector. The direct contribution from government, Your Excellency, was 269 billion, which is about 13%, which largely went to procurement of medicines and test kits. However, this figure does not take into account staff, because we have government of Uganda paid staff who are providing HIV services. These services are provided within the government of Uganda infrastructure as well as the utilities. So probably if we factor that in, the contribution would go higher than 13%. Although our target had been that by 2025, government would contribute 40% of the total budget. But Your Excellency, there is a financing innovation that you sanctioned that I would like to report back. And we call this the HIV mainstreaming agenda. Working with the Ministry of Finance, all government ministries, departments, and agencies are directed to allocate 0.1% of their budgets after they have removed wage and subvention towards HIV and AIDS prevention activities. Your Excellency, when we looked at the last report, we saw that a total of 61 billion was mobilized. This is more than $10 million. And we have worked with UNAIDS to generate these reports, and globally they are following this with interest. They think this is another initiative pioneered here that may be taken on globally. The main constraint, sir, is that only 17% of all the votes complied with the instructions. So probably if everyone worked according to the instructions that we gave them, then the figure would be much higher than 61%. It is really reorganizing internal budgets, and that way we can offset some of these requirements. On ensuring institutional effectiveness, Your Excellency, most of our government ministries, departments, and agencies have HIV prevention and control units, up to 98%. It's slightly lower in the local governments at 89%, and it's because of the recently created local governments, including cities, that we are still orienting so that they can have they can also have these committees to sensitize staff. Your Excellency, one of the last issues that I would like to report to you on is the issue, because we've looked at and you've previously engaged us on ensuring that there is continuity and lasting impact in terms of the investments and gains that have been made. Your Excellency, we know that in the 90s, when HIV/AIDS initiatives were being set up, they were largely, because of the emergency nature, they were parallel systems and they worked outside government. And most of these were coming from donors. So the current discussion going on is that let these efforts be mainstreamed and let the services be delivered within the government systems. We are working on a framework under the leadership of the Honorable Minister for Presidency. And Your Excellency, at one of the prayers is that at an opportune time, she will come and present a position paper to Cabinet so that you can guide, make your high-level input, approve this roadmap, and it will largely, to a very large extent, cut down costs of delivery, but also ensure that government is in the lead in terms of delivery. Let me mention a few challenges, sir, as I end my comments. Despite the above achievements that I've mentioned, Your Excellency, we still have some subgroups that remain vulnerable to HIV, and that's why the burden is still high. Currently, we estimate about 1.4 million people living with HIV. About 1.3 million of these are on ARVs. Your Excellency, we've estimated that it costs about 700,000 Uganda shillings per year to maintain a patient on ARVs, including monitoring and testing. And I've spoken about the number of new infections, especially amongst young people. One of the reasons, sir, we see this is complacency amongst young people, but also partly because they did not witness the aggressive epidemic of the 1980s and 90s, which if you saw it, then you would go back and think twice before you can engage into risk behavior. On the behalf of on the Uganda AIDS Commission budget, Your Excellency, I thank you because over the last 5 years, our budget has increased by threefold. And the most recent Minister of Finance made a provision for us to fill the 19 vacant positions that have been empty. We are very grateful for that. But we, like the Oliver Twist, sir, we are still asking for more because there are interventions around communication, HIV prevention and advocacy that we have been working with partners like religious leaders and cultural leaders that would like to inject more energy in. So we've made some proposals to Parliament and to the Minister of Finance, and an opportune moment, sir, we can share these specifics with you again so that you guide us going forward. So what do we propose going forward? So we request you to continue to lead the campaign of reducing new HIV infections, especially amongst young children. We propose that you direct all leaders, including political leaders, cultural leaders, religious leaders, and business leaders, to include HIV prevention and other health messages in their programs whenever they have an opportunity to address the public. Your Excellency, sir, we also request you to engage our partners to avoid a hasty withdrawal, because after decades of these huge investments and achievements that we have, it would be disastrous for us and for them, I think, to just move out. So we request that you, at a very high level, although the Minister with myself, we are engaging at a technical level, that you engage the partners and urge them to have a systematic retreat, maybe based on the framework that we shall present to you to endorse. In the medium and long term, sir, we would like you to continue leading the efforts to build capacity for local manufacturing of pharmaceuticals, the example of quality chemicals, the microheme scientifics, the East African medical vitals, and others. But beyond that, Your Excellency, as current chair of the non-aligned movement, we would like you to lead the effort to harmonize the regional manufacturing industry so that countries manufacture what is of competitive advantage. And if one is manufacturing ARVs, maybe the other can manufacture something else. Because also we know that this will create wider regional markets and also create jobs for our young people. So we also request, we've had investments in research, local research and development for a vaccine and cure, and so we request that these investments increase. In conclusion, the national multi-sectoral HIV response has made tremendous achievements in terms of reducing new HIV infections and AIDS-related deaths. And your leadership has been at the center of this, and we ask for this continued leadership. And we are very confident that in your current drive, especially of poverty, including emphasis on universal primary and secondary education, we shall improve household incomes and positively impact public health outcomes, ultimately leading to Uganda ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. I say this for God and my country, and I thank you, sir, for your kind attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nelson Musoba. I abantu baife oyo ni Dr. Musoba Nelson, senkulu w'ekitongole ekya Uganda AIDS Commission, abadabulira mukama waffe President w'eggwanga omulimu omulungi ogw'ettendo bonge ekitongole gwe bakoze, gwe beeyongera okukola okulaba nti balwanyisa ekirwadde ekyamukenenya. President yatugamba n'abawa okusoomoozebwa nti bwe bugenda okutuuka mwaka 2030 taya kulaba nti waliwo omuntu n'obwabeera omu akwatibwa akawuka ka mukenenya mu ggwanga lyaffe Uganda. Kaakati oyo ssenkulu w'ekitongole abadde amunnyonnyola enkizo ki ze bataddeko ng'ekitongole kya gavumenti okulaba nti guno omulimu gw'abakwasibwa President bagutuusa buli ndaala. Agenze mu maaso n'atwayanjulira abantu be bakola nabo, development partners in your respective capacities. He singled out a few. I was told he didn't mention World Health Organization. I am adding World Health Organization to the fold. Dr. Njuguna, I see you, and please wave to the people. He also did not mention our friends from the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. You may as well wish to wave to the people as well. Excellencies, honorable ministers and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and all our good people in this area, as we take a breather, I wish to introduce to you Chinaitakali Primary School. Abana bafa abarungi batereko a song for the entertainment and education on this fight we are on to fight against HIV and AIDS. Chinaitakali Primary School.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has
young people, the message of HIV and AIDS is not only with adults, but deep into the psyche of young people who are the majority in our country. Chalkori Primary School, please, let's get on. We have a poem. His Excellency the President is waiting.
You
wonderful poem where you have sent out two fundamental messages. The first message is to thank His Excellency the President for his concerted effort in the fight against HIV and AIDS, and the second is a curse upon HIV. Ekitongole kibale kikolera akabuka ka Mukenenya naye ate ekitongole kyebaza nnyo ekyensusu President waffe w'eggwanga n'ebya akaleeta kaakasaawa eno mukulu w'eggwanga President asiimye abaana baffe abakyankole CDC akubeebaza ku lw'ekitontome ekirungi kye batuwadde. Your Excellency, that is the foundation of the future society of Uganda, who are saying they embrace your strategic leadership in handling HIV and AIDS, not a public health issue by 2030. Thank you very much. Bana tubakubire mu ngalo abaana baife abo baana baffe ekisirimu kibakwatako ennyo ekitontome kyabwe kibadde kirina obubaka obw'amaanyi okulaga nti nabo ng'abaana abato bamusaayi muto luno olutalo lwe tulimu olw'okulwanyisa Mukenenya balwetumbidde ate balwetumbidde bulindaala. Kaakati olwo ng'omukulu President ali mukwekobaana n'abaana bato bano badde nsaba minisita waffe omulungi akwasiganya ensonga z'obwa President, in that case the Minister for the Presidency, Honorable Miri Babalanda, to take stage and not only just make her remarks but also use the opportunity to recognize colleague ministers and other dignitaries at that level that are present with us. Honorable Babalanda. Honorable Mary Babaranda. Dozaba, constituency no mumurabye, message etuse. Ngatona yogera honorable ninayo ekirango kitono kina y'abaana babiri beturonze badde nsaba nti bw'oba wase n'omwana wo naye nga tomulaba otutuukire wano bendi ekyo tukuwe omwana wo.
Thank you. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Commander-in-Chief of the Uganda People's Defense Forces, National Chairman of the mighty party NRM, our Chief Patriot, our champion in the fight against HIV and AIDS, our hero in the fight of COVID-19, our freedom fighter, champion of democracy, doctor of international philosophy, and fountain of honor on the African continent, Papa, Dr. Mzee Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. You are most welcome to VNA. Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda and woman member of Parliament, Katakwi District, retired Major Jessica Alupo Rose Pell, you're most welcome, Mama. The Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of the East African Community Affairs and Second National Vice Chairperson of the mighty NRM Party and woman member of Parliament, Kamali District, Right Honorable Rebecca Litwala Kadaga, you are most welcome, Mama. The Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without portfolio and woman member of Parliament, Mayuge District, Right Honorable Lukea Isanga Nakadama, Mama Tsangaire. The Honorable Minister for Health, Honorable Jane Ruth Acheng, you are most welcome. Honorable Minister of State for Trade, Industry and Cooperatives, General Mbadi Mbasu Wilson, you are most welcome. Honorable members of Parliament present, the heads of diplomatic missions present, the AIDS development partners, the PEPFAR coordinator, Mary Bogan, can you please stand and wave to His Excellency the President? Bogan, you are most welcome. The UN resident coordinator, the UNFPA country representative, the UN AIDS country representative, World Health Organization country representative, UN Women, JICA, and UNDP, you are all welcome. The RDCs, led by the Dean of RDCs, RCCs, Deputy RDCs, and Assistant RDCs, you are most welcome. All local leaders, not forgetting the LC5 chairpersons. representatives of religious and cultural leaders, representatives of people living with HIV, all other leaders in your respective capacities, ladies and gentlemen. Omukama mulungi, ekisera kyona kyona. Your Excellency, before I present my remarks to your guests and with your permission, allow me to invite the LC5 chairperson of Biende and the woman member of parliament Biende to come and greet you, sir. Chairman Biende, Idolamse, kubageni ba President Museveni. Awalala n'omubaka omukyalo wa Buyende district idolamse ku bageni ba President Museveni.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Your Excellency, the Vice President, the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Second Deputy Prime Minister, the Minister for Presidency, the Minister for Health, all members of Parliament here present, the Uganda AIDS Commission, Abo Bwacha Bazinga, and all invited guests. Ninze Kana Kumaiko, the district chairperson. A lot of messages, Your Excellency, have been put about HIV AIDS. I have only two statements to make about it. One, you have visited Bukungu. This is the second time you come to Bukungu Primary School. Bukungu is the largest landing site on Lake Choga. Buyende shares Lake Choga with Kayunga, Amaratal, Kabiramaido, Serere, Palisat Gogonyo, and Kaliro. We happen to have 30 landing sites. Evidence has shown that the landing sites are associated with a high level of infection and prevalence of HIV/AIDS. My prayer is simple. HIV control, response, and interventions are institutional based. All testing is done in health facilities. We have 6 sub-counties that touch Lake Choga but do not have any health facility. We are happy that in our council, when your wise minister sent us money under the Youth Gift program, we have already built a health center 3 at Bukungu so that we prepare for the various ferries. People will be moving on the ferries and pay attention to the landing site. It is my prayer through you, Your Excellency, and the relevant authorities to help us and at least attain a single health facility where most of these institutional interventions shall be carried out. Number 2, Your Excellency, the President, I am happy to give you this message. As a leading politician in this country, I also champion politics in this district. Permit me give you this message. 1, Buyende district is the one that voted NRM best in Eastern region. The whole of Soga region had challenges, but for us, we were able to make sure you win, and we are committed to this, that if we put a few things right, we shall continue winning in NRM vote. Number two, Your Excellency, Buyende District is proud of the PDM program. We have performed the third best twice, the first Lilies, and even this financial year, we are the third best, and we are the regional champions of PDM. The rest are supposed to learn from us. That one makes me happy. Mr. President, there is an important agenda. The other time, I was invited as the only chairperson to join in Entebbe when we had a forum on the nuclear business interventions. An engagement between Uganda, including a memorandum of understanding, was signed between Argentina and Soroti University to have the first nuclear engineering faculty. For 7 years, the Ministry of Energy and other sister agencies have been coming to Buyende, Nakasongola, Lamo, and Kiruhura to have the nuclear energy facilities. This is in conformity with your direction of intention to diversify the energy mix in Uganda to meet the 50,000 megawatts that you desire and vision could be what would drive us to 2040. The first facility is going to be built in Buyende at a hill near River Nile called the Kasato. I take the privilege, Your Excellency, to say that the hill you are seeing in the other direction is the Kasato nuclear site that by 2032 will produce 80,400 megawatts. A lot has been done. 2 weeks ago, the ministry, together with the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, launched the Resettlement Action Plan that has kicked to look at the various agenda to harmonize. The prayer among our community is that we want further engagement, and it should be championed by the man with that vision. The Bataka want to see, they want to benchmark what happened in Hoima oil regions, what happened at Isimba, what happened at Vijagali. It is our prayer that we handle the communities, because about 10 villages are going to be affected. It is my prayer, my President, that we do this best, because some of us who are talking about it are being misunderstood, because we can interpret the nuclear policy, we can interpret the regulations, we have the knowledge about the Land Acquisition and Resettlement Act, we are being mistaken. We seek for your intervention and direction in this subject matter. Your Excellency the President, some time back, when this district requested for a single ferry, you have given us 2 mini ships, a project of 52 billions. The docking points have remained a challenge. Today, we had anticipated that you would be commissioning the 2 big ferries that will save us about 300 kilometers of moving from here via Jinja, Mbale, Soroti to Kabira Maido would take 2 to Kamaida and Soroti, and also save us the longer journey via Kampala, Karuma, and the other side. It is our prayer that while you identified under your vision of working with East African community, a farm from Tanzania called Songora has made wonderful ferries. But Tehran, which is handling the docking point, has delayed us. We have overwaited for these pledges. You have fulfilled them. We want it to operate. I want to thank you for the various pledges you had made in Buyende. You gave us the district. When you landed here, you added us 8 lower local governments. You gave us the electricity, the ferries have come. Another challenge is the ice plant. The ice plant was a 1.6 billion project. It was completed 6 years ago. The Honorable Nankawirwa wanted to commission it. The challenge we had, it has never produced the ice because even with the presence of electricity, nobody has come to connect the ice plant to electricity. It has remained a white elephant. It is a waste of the good monies that this country would have utilized the best way. It is my prayer that you think about it so that we maximize benefit of the various intervention your wisdom has provided to us. I must not make it my day, for I have the prayer that one time we shall once again meet you. But maybe perhaps I am a Mukenye by tribe. In 27, when I led a delegation of the Badiope who were in the Kamuli district to State House, we were demanding for this district. When I told you Buyende is made up of mixed tribes, I told you of the Banyara who have taken this place, the Ikusimoola, the Ivabaza, the Banyala and Baluli. I told you about the Vakenye. I told you about the Aitesots, the Langis who crossed during the 1987 insurgents. You asked me, what are Vakenye? You told me to speak Rukenya and you doubted whether it was not Lugwero or Lulamoji. You asked me whether there is a dance and a drama about it. You had thought Buyende has only Basoga. We have Basoga of various origins. So now, Mr. President, what happened in 1987 is that when the insurgents was hot across, the safe zone was Buyende. A third of Buyende district are called Abalumuse or Abairuchi, meaning displaced persons who ran from the other side to take refuge here. What this government did, PRDP and NUSAF, was given to the people across, and the survivors this were benefited in nothing. Up to today, Your Excellency, the Vakenya people are disturbing these politicians. They are coming back to us to say, what is the deal for us? In the tent where you are, you have a delegation of leadership of Kenya in the whole country. They are there standing, waving to you. It is their prayer that they meet you and you harmonize. For them, they are committed to vote. I must conclude as guided. I rest my case. Thank you, Your Excellency, the President.
Your Excellency, Baba Nzoida kuikiriza in the interest of the local leadership around Nkozeso Olusoga. Nenda okusima okuidako, nenda okwebaza Vice President, mukaida wa ife Mama Right Honorable Kadaga, atenga niwe achikira mu East Africa, the third Deputy Prime Minister, ministers present, the honorable members of Parliament, the other DCs, and then the designated dignitaries, religious present. Baba nze nenda ko bebigambo bitono, nenda kwebaza nti webala okuida ebiyende. Wenawo ndakusaba nti webala okuba champion okukulembera okulwanisa akawuka ka siriimu. I'm one of the people abaire ni CDO mu district ngebaire indigenous. Twafuna vote okuva mu civil society fund and we got 300 million in my organization. We worked with existing health structures. We have been circumcising. We tested people and referred. Wanonendo kwebaza the partners abaidye of celebrating wano olunaku lw'okwidukira banaife akawuka ka siriimu. Thank you for joining hands with Buyende district. Nenda okusaba abantu ababulido nti twongere okwekuuma kubanga siriimu aliyo. Your Excellency, allow me report to you that you assigned me a task prior to your coming for sensitizing the fisher folks about fish farming. My report is ready and the people are ready to buy the idea. Ayenga nendo kusembyayo babe budyope ekyabavubi kikali kuterera. Nenda kusaba nti bwaidye oikirize through Minister for Presidency omitinge ku abavubi bonna bosoboire okulongosa ensonga ey'abavubi kuba nimwe tutoola ekyokulya. Then lastly, allow me take this singular honor to invite the honorable members of Parliament for Budiope West and Budiope East, Honorable Choto and Honorable Magogo. You come along with the members of Parliament, Chairperson Busoga Parliamentary Caucus. Okay, I've been advised that I recognize you. Allow me take this singular honor to recognize the presence of the area MP, Budiope constituency, Honorable Choto Ibrahim Mululi. You stand up and wave to the President. Honorable Magogo Hashimu, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Budiope East constituency. Honorable Muuma Militon Kalulu from Iganga district. Honorable Ajidi Isabirie from Bunya South and is the chairperson in Busoga Parliamentary Caucus. Honorable Chisa Stephanie from Luka South. Your Excellency has also embraced this function. Honorable Katenya Isaac from Bulambuli is also present. Honorable Dr. Didi Boka from Obong County. Honorable Abeja Susan from Otuke constituency. We have the honorables. Once the honorable remains the honorable. So, Your Excellency, allow me to recognize their presence. We have Honorable Sulaiman Chirunda, the former Member of Parliament for Budiope constituency East. We have Honorable Msoke Robert, is also with us. We have Honorable Ruwawa Paul, who was one of the first members of Parliament for Biende district. We have Honorable Bahati from Luuka, and we have Honorable Balonde David, Chairman Land Board Kampala. Allow me end here in the interest of time. Your Excellency, we are very happy. Thank you for coming. Thank you again. Even the Honorable Movito, but he was assigned to be the RDC.
I am privileged to come back on the direction of His Excellency the President. Ndikutaka okutwala omukisa guno Mr. President yokusangazya mukyalo kyebuyende kubanga onkobere nti nkusugiryeko mu Lukenye tusangaire ino iswe tukutaka ino ife abakenye twerira binage na bijjo nitubokusa era tukutaka tukuwa obululu bungi kuba abandi kwise bagudilyo kuteso twena twayizire wano nitutyama wano wade batwaire kwente jaisu amatakali gaisu nibaita bana isu tuli happy era taka tukolagane na iwe era kyova national team etambwira okuzo mu Uganda yona neiza wano era n'abantu mwena mwiziro ku mukolo guno ntako kubasangazya nti mwebala okwiza ife abakenye nife abamu ku bitundu ebiryo mu Uganda era according to national census buyende ni yesinga bakenye obungi mu Uganda yona era bwiza kwe twatumulano kyabazinga twasalawo twena tuyikirye tubeno kabaka isu. Your Excellency, tusangaire ino tuiza kusigala nga tikutaka era tuli kusabanga bwa bayiro nkobere olundingiza kuleta abakenye bakubinireku bakwembereku otegeri abakenye byetukolanga bwe babokitakire, and we are proud kubanga tuwaire district tubamu n'abanyala tubamu n'abaluuli n'abasoga batukuumire nituba n'abateeso buno n'abalanga abayirukire kudi. Webale nnyo your experience. Ntaka kutwala n'omukisa guno, I want to seek your indulgence, the President, to introduce my colleagues, the chairpersons LC5 here present. Chairman Kamuli, okubireko mukulu jambo na buli bakansala ba district mwena mukubireku o President wakajambo. President, we are happy. We hosted you here 3 months ago. We hosted Dutch Bishop here 2 months ago. We hosted Yomutane Ochabazingo Abusogana Bawano. Webale ino President.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Baba Zela ndi musoga ngana nkwandulire ku abageni abakukunavu abali awoti yaime kusaidiyo ere are right. Otiaime ni Sister of Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, retired Major Jessica Alupo Rose Pell. Ate kusaidia ino wati Amani Mwanoko, First Deputy Prime Minister, era Minister w'ensonga eza East Africa, ate era Second National Vice Chairperson ow'ekibiina kyaife ekya NRM, ate omubaka omukyalo wa Kamuli District, Mama Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. Ate kusaidia eno otiaime ni muwalawo oba mwanoko Right Honorable Third Deputy Prime Minister era Minister without portfolio, ate era omubaka omukyalo wa Mayuge District Right Honorable Lukia Isanga Nakadama. Awoni waliwo Minister w'ensonga ez'ebyobulamu owekitiibwa Jane Ruth Acheng. Ate waba ni mutabani wo Minister of State Trade General Mbadimbasu Wilson. Webale ino owekitiibwa President. I greet you and welcome you all to Buyende District and to this year's celebrations to mark the World AIDS Day. We are here at Bukungu Primary School in Buyende District, and the people and leaders of Buyende are excited to see you, Your Excellency the President. Every year at this time, we come together to reflect on this devastating scourge whose terrible impact has continued to overturn progress of humanity for now close to 40 years. Your Excellency, with your direct support and interventions, Uganda has nonetheless made significant progress in the fight against HIV and AIDS in the late 1980s and early 1990s. HIV prevalence was high at 18% in the general population. It is now at 5.1%. There are approximately 1.4 million people living with HIV, and over 1.2 million of these are on treatment. In 2023 alone, 38,000 new HIV infections were registered and 20,000 AIDS-related deaths were recorded. Of the new HIV infections, a high proportion are adolescent girls and younger women. I would like to applaud the collaboration between Uganda AIDS Commission, Ministry of Health, and UNAIDS that enabled us to generate this subnational data. It is useful in helping us prioritize HIV prevention interventions and behavior change campaigns. Your Excellency, sir, the global HIV and AIDS estimates show that Uganda is on track to achieve our targets, even though the burden remains big. I take this opportunity to appreciate you, Your Excellency, for the exemplary leadership and unwavering support you have offered to the national HIV and AIDS response over the years. You have shown keen interest and deep knowledge in all the facets of HIV and AIDS response, driven by your desire to have a healthy population that ultimately drives industrialization. Your Excellency, the first person with AIDS in Uganda was discovered at Kasensero landing site in Rakai district in the 1980s. It soon became the epicenter of HIV infection and AIDS-related deaths, alongside other thriving urban centers at that time. For some years, many districts in Uganda, such as those in Karamoja region, did not register any cases of HIV infection. However, to date, every district in Uganda has people living with HIV. Your Excellency, in 2017, after the announcement of the Sustainable Development Goals by the United Nations, you launched the Presidential Fast Track Initiative to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. This initiative has 5 pillars. Pillar number 1, to engage men in HIV prevention and close the tap on new infections, particularly among adolescent girls and young women. Your Excellency, this region was reported with high numbers of early marriages, defilements, careless parenting, and school dropouts, which were fueling HIV infections. As leaders, we are addressing this problem through emphasis on welfare creation programs. Pillar number 2, to accelerate implementation of test and treat program and attainment of the 90 to 90 targets, particularly among men and young people. That is 90% of all people who are HIV positive identified through HIV testing. 90% of all who test positive are enrolled on treatment, and 90% of all who are on treatment achieve viral suppression. This has since been updated to a new target of 95, 95, 95. Pillar number 3, to consolidate progress on elimination of mother-to-child transmission of HIV. Pillar number 4, to ensure financial sustainability for the HIV and AIDS response. And pillar number 5, to ensure institutional effectiveness for a well-coordinated multi-sectoral response. Your Excellency, sir, in 2017, Uganda pledged to end AIDS as a public health threat by 2030. This was to be achieved through implementation of behavior change interventions and dissemination of messages for HIV prevention. This was crucial to achieve significant and sustainable declines in new HIV infections, and especially during the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic that worsened domestic violence and transactional sex, 2 key factors in the spread of HIV. Your Excellency, I would like to recognize the efforts of the government of Uganda in addressing poverty through the parish development model, Emyoga, and other welfare creation interventions. Sir, being financially empowered not only increases household incomes, but it also helps to reduce the vulnerabilities especially of adolescent girls and young women in HIV infection. Your Excellency, you have always emphasized that health is wealth. I therefore urge Ugandans to test for HIV and know their status. If you test positive, treatment for HIV is available in all government facilities, and when taken as advised, it is beneficial in suppressing the HIV virus. HIV prevention communication is also beneficial in creating awareness and changing individual and social behavior. To this end, the resident district and city commissioners have been empowered to implement your directive on HIV messaging using the government airtime on radios. Your Excellency, while it is true that much of the funding we receive for the national HIV response is from donors, we recognize the government of Uganda for increasing allocations to the HIV national response. The Ministry of Finance has been increasing its annual allocations, especially for medicines and test kits. We also recognize government-directed, Your Excellency, we also recognize that government-directed or accounting officers to allocate 0.1% of annual operational budgets towards mainstreaming HIV interventions in their respective sectors. This has helped to ensure funding for HIV prevention activities, especially those that are not funded by the AIDS development partners. Your Excellency, sir, I would like to report that I am chairing discussions with the AIDS development partners together with the ministries responsible for finance and health to develop a roadmap on how government will progressively invest more in the HIV response by 2030 and beyond, because the development partners' interests are changing. My team is preparing a paper which I will soon present to Cabinet to seek your guidance and adoption. Your Excellency, sir, as I conclude, I would like to thank the Uganda AIDS Commission for coordinating the national HIV response and getting us to where we are today. I also thank the AIDS development partners for their support to the government of Uganda. I thank the networks of people living with HIV, the civil society and private sector, and the cultural and religious leaders for supporting government efforts in the fight against HIV and AIDS. Your Excellency, there are several political and socio-economic issues affecting this area which I would have loved to talk about on behalf of the people, but we will highlight them during your forthcoming PDM tour in Usoga region. Your Excellency, before I invite the Right Honorable Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga to speak to us, allow me invite one of your Muzukulu who is having a message to your guests, and with your permission, sir. Prince Ronnie.
Yes. Kampulira zina ja mama babalonda mire. Kampulira zina ja mwami. Jaja mwami ndi musanyifu nnyo okulabako, era jaja nsaba osima kayimba kano. Jaja nakayimba nkajja ku mutima gwange sole neyanziza neyanzege dijja sulayo. Kola what?
Development partners, waliwo mwogenda okuyita kubanga mubagenda kale tweyanziza Prince Juko webale ino webalire irala. boxes with your books. This and ready for the ones now. Your Excellency, the Bazukulu of Buyende are more humbled and ready for overflow the ballot boxes with your votes come 2026. Your Excellency, ngana nsima abantu abe Buyende nebudyopo okutwaliza awalala okwida mu bungi buti mwebala okwida okwaniriza President Museveni, mwebala okwenda President Museveni. NRM oye, NRM juu. Abantu bano bagumira omusana olw'omukwano gwe balina niwe ow'ekitiibwa President. Ngana nsime muwalawo Lieutenant Colonel Masi olw'okubanga ali kujja ng'atebenkeza enanda n'emirimu emirungi gy'ali tukolamu. Ow'ekitiibwa President gana nsime ba RDCs, ba Deputy RDCs, ba Assistant RDCs abaidye ku mukolo guno mu bungi bali over 70 nga bakulembeirwa ddiini waibwe Mbabazi myemereza tiimu yo bawevingireko ekitiibwa President. Ate neyo tiimu ya RDCs nga bwe bakola emirimu gyo ow'ekitiibwa President. Ate ni batabani bo mobilization nga Basewava Joseph n'abandi Kamala. Baba ebiseera bigiire nga nandete mwanoko Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister era Minister West African Community Affairs era omubaka omukyalo wa Kamuli District ate era Second National Vice Chairperson wa NRM Party Mama Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga.
Mana kodeyo mwe balina kwida mwe balina mirimu gye mulikola. Your Excellency President waife tusangera okubona mu kyalo kyaife ekyebukungu katulebaze Uganda Aid Commission ne Ministry of Presidency okwikiriza okuleeta omukolo wano mu kyalo kyaife. Your Excellency ekyalo kino kyalondebwa bulungi kubanga the characteristics of this community are majorly two: fishing community but also part of the cattle corridor. Emise gyaiwe gyakutambula especially fishing community ina preference ya mani no musonga ya HIV infection. So baba bali kugireta hano abantu basobola okufuna message hiyo. Your Excellency Vice President Mutesi owebugweri tusangera okubona we bali kwida mu kyalo kyaife kino Deputy Prime Minister ba Minister abakulembeze mwena protocol bajogereira tuida kugira mu tusangera obona. Your Excellency ka koisuseyo olugendo lwabairemu ng'oli kubiriza abantu ba Africa okuzibuka amaiso twegaite tube kitole tusobole okwanganga ebizibu biri mu igwanga. Otisetya wakimanye ndabaindi kutambula obwire nasoma ku Twitter nti mwami President wa America yakobye nti imwe ba BRICS bwe munagezaako okulekerawo kozesa dola mwida kumbona alikogera kubanga wamaani alikutisa obutono. Baba ife nga Uganda tusobola kirwana twenka ayo message yo eya federation ndoza abana banagitegeera tulikwetaaga okubalala tusobola okuresponinga ku bintu ebyo. Your Excellency kanebaze abakulembeze mu lweje bali bakola muno ensooka zange dakuba justice atudonka esooka neegemagana ku nsonga ya nuclear. Excellency abataka bwe twayita ku ttale siita abataka bankuba ati tuli kwenda iddo twinonole ebigemagana ni nuclear tubitegeera bulungi. So naida anakoba ba Ministry ya Energy tuje ebudyope twogere n'abataka twayide kasaata awo twasiba olunaku lulamba they talked about their fears, their expectations. So Your Excellency, program eno okugiraga yarangibwa ira aye okutuka kuitaka eruire ekiri mu kyalo ekyo ebyalo 10 kirala tunaja tituje tulime tutalima. Should we invest, should we not invest? So ndikusaba nti okuba Ministry ya Energy bangu kwe balikola abantu amanyi yebajja kibajja okukola kibajja okufuna but programming emyaka 7 kibalikola ne kinayagana mu kyalo Excellency. So ndikwenda kubasaba ensonga eyo obakobe ekyokubya kigamba nuclear nababuuza nti ekyuma kiri gano University Soroti lwaki bakati ya Soroti Center ya Research ya bakugu aba master ni PhD nakanti erena abakugu nabajja okukyamere kale nolwekyo President kula abantu bano ndikusaba tibano bonka abantu ba Busoga ni Eastern Region ndikusaba nti entegeka eriwo eyokukola vocational school wano akasomero akemikono wano titujimatira tulikusaba nti tusome tubeni diplomas tusomera hano obanga tusomere masters ya PhD ngajja kubeere tusomere hano certificate tusomere hano diploma tusobola okusoma esomero lye namusagale baba lukuzimba liriyo Maritime University basobola okusomerawo esomero lye Busitema University liriyo basobola okusomerawo Busoga University esobola okusomesa course ya NPMP then abakugwa ba PhD bajere esoroti okono okusaba abantu bano kubasaba kutuse yoli ensonga eyokubiri Excellency negemagana lukubya ku buvubi twali ndi omwezi ogwire tulinde bitwe twakobera abantu bali kutyanga okwogera ange kituufu kyene ensonga tidiri bulungi abantu batuma ku kyalo kino okola emirimu gyo n'okuma abantu beeriza emyalo abantu bano babuuza nti oba twatwana batulobera okuvuba bano balikola kimu nanda ate obalikola bebatulobera bebalikola abantu abandi babano balina amaato agawera bakontrolinga emyalo eriyo nekintu kyebetako the big network abasasula sente meno sobola okujja okuvuba abo bali baikiriza so tiri kwenda olobe bakibuuse maiso ndi tukusandukire aye tena twakobera ekiri mu kyalo. So Excellency ensonga eyo ndikusaba nti ojetegeze bulungi ogiringemu. So tulikwenda okubaza okuyida ekyo oluguudo tikyogereku olwendo olubiseemu tulina essuubi nti oyida tukolera oluguudo olwo n'ekindi baba nenda okwebaza nti ebidi eri ebyo meeri edo ni nuclear facility eno bida kwongera okutumbula economy ya Kidera abaana kani abadyope ferry with that ship with that and kokola abantu bajja kuvanga eri bagula n'ebintu seminti amabati tweda kwetaka kujaidinda sente zisigala ene Kidera abendo kunabya bamwe anoba eri okumadhi bagolole sente nga zisigala ano. So tulina opportunity okulakulana ku kyalo kino ekyekidera ni nakani budyope nuclear facility yona eda kutuyamba abantu abaledde okola muno bajja kwetaaga amayumba bajja kwetaaga ebyokozesa so opportunity ziriwo ningi tukwenda okwebaza baba nti ekyo kitukoleire mu myaka gitali mitono ino eno eza kufuuka commercial capital ya Eastern Region nga buli kintu kiri kujja bulungi. So Excellency, tusangayo n'okubona ndikwenda okweta muganda wange Her Excellency Vice President aida akwete oyogere eri abadyope oba inosa bwe balera.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Alitwala Rebecca Kadaga, the First Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for East African Affairs, the Right Honorable Rukia Nakadama, the Third Deputy Prime Minister and Minister without portfolio, the Honorable Mile Babalanda, the Minister for Presidency, colleagues, ministers present, Excellencies, the ambassadors, the UN Resident Coordinator, the Chairperson of Uganda AIDS Commission, all the people living with HIV/AIDS, the UN family, and indeed all our development partners, all the local government leaders in your respective capacities, all invited guests, religious leaders, cultural leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Koizeyo sangaire okubona webale ino nze mutesi wa Bugweri Your Excellency, I congratulate you and all the people of Uganda on the commemoration of the World AIDS Day 2024 under the theme Accelerating Interventions to End AIDS by 2030. Secondly, Your Excellency, I commend you for your tireless efforts in guiding the country and supporting interventions geared towards the health and the welfare or well-being of all the people of Uganda. Your concerted effort in the fight against HIV/AIDS in Uganda and in the region cannot be overemphasized. I leave the members of the audience to reflect the messages which have already been given by the leaders who have spoken with all the statistics therein. Your Excellency, as per our theme of today, which is also a reflection of one of the SDGs, i.e., accelerating intervention to end AIDS by 2030. It is my hope and desire that all our scientists and all the people of Uganda continue to extend maximum cooperation to each other in order to beat that deadline. Because, Your Excellency, the underlying conditions of the people living with HIV/AIDS still continue to make AIDS a health hazard, as experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic, and maybe in any other pandemics that may arise. So the bottom line, Your Excellency, is that AIDS should be ended. It is now my singular honor and privilege, Your Excellency, to invite you to address the nation. The floor is yours, sir.
Sit down, please. Koideyo abasoga koideyo. Muliyo. Kibumba asimibwe. Our Excellency the Vice President, somebody should translate in Rusoga. You have a translator somewhere?
Chairperson is my wife. I've been guided that the woman named me will translate into Rusoga. You may wish to come over here and listen to the
Her Excellency the Vice President,
muzeeyi alikoba ng'ayaniriza Vice President oba amwiririra.
the Deputy Prime Ministers,
Yasangaza Right Honorable Mama Kadaga ni Right Honorable Mchala Honorable Nakadama.
all
Basaba ministers.
the ministers and the members of Parliament,
Ba ministers bona bona n'ababaka ba parliament abaidde wano.
the religious leaders,
Abakulembeze ab'amadiini bona bona.
the cultural leaders,
Abakulembeze ab'amawanga agandi.
the cultural.
Abakulembeze ab'ebika. Oba ab'ennono. Ab'ensikirano.
All the other leaders,
Abakulembeze aba buli nsambo b'ab'ebika ebindi.
and all of you, the wananchi of this area.
Nife abataka aba budyope twena tusangaziza twekubire ku mungalo banange.
The problem of AIDS is really a problem mainly of discipline.
Aliko banti ekizibu ekyakawuka ka siriimu kiva ku mpisa detu ebisamu.
This is a disease when we analyzed, it was threatening us, we found it was from just 3 points.
Alikoba nti obulwaire buno bw'obanga obulingirire obanga weekenneenya bulungi.
It was from 3 sources.
Buva mu ngeri y'abika bya mirundi esatu.
Bwali buva mu biseera ebyo. Mu biseera ebyo bwali buva busibuka abantu basatu. Number 1
ekisooka
was umalaya.
Bwali kukola obuseego oba okwetunda.
That was number 1.
Eyo ni number 1 engeri gye tufunamu obulwaire obwo.
Number 2
2
was blood transfusion before we checked the blood of the givers.
Bwavanga musaayi ng'olwaire bakuwa omusaayi ng'awe ebyobulamu bikaali kwekeenezezebwa bulungi.
Then number 3 was from mother to child in the womb.
Namba 3 nga kiva ku maama alwaire akawuka ka siriimu ate yatoolenda ate yazaala omwana nga tamize eddagala akawuka kagema omwana.
But to show that it's not really a very serious disease, if you take number 3, mother to child, even without any intervention, we found that only 30% would pass from mother to child, even if the mother had virus.
Alikoba nti namba 3 eno omukyala ni bw'abanga atwaire enda waire nga tasoboire kumira eddagala. Miraculous asobola okuzaala omwana ng'azira kawuka.
The 70% were giving children who had no kawuka. It was only 30% that time.
nti ebiseera ebyo nga eddagala likaali kuyidanga ku 10 bamaama 7 asobola okuzaala omwana ng'aze akawuka. Dina 3 gasigalawo nga 3 ago omwana asobola ofuniramu akawuka.
Now, initially we were worried that it was going through mosquitoes and insect bites and so on.
Nti eiranga ebyobulamu bikaali kugondoolwa bulungi balowoozanga nti n'ensiri esobola okuleeta akawuka ka mukenembya.
But then we found it was not possible.
Aye bajja okunoonyereza nga tikisoboka ensi tereeta siriimu.
So we closed the route of blood transfusion.
So baigalawo ekintu ekyokukoba nti okuwa omusaayi bw'owa omuntu aba afuniramu akawuka singa nga guba gwekeneeneibwa bulungi.
We got technology to determine the blood, the safety.
Baleeta ebyuma bya kabwidibwidi nga bisobola osengedde omusaayi ogwo gwabanga mulungi ino okuweebwa omuntu owundi.
So that route was closed long ago.
So buti ekyo kyayigalibwawo tekaali nsonga nti ereeta akawuka ka siriimu.
Then the one of mother to child, we also closed it because medicine became available which would stop transmission from mother to child.
Then nekyokoba nti maama agemye omwana singa nga maama yaganibwa n'akawuka ka siriimu bw'abambiza eddagala eryo akawuka tikagema mwana.
So there's only one route.
Waliwo omutendera mulala gwe tusobola ofuniramu akawuka ka siriimu.
That is the route of umalaya.
Neyo empisa ey'obuseegu ey'okwetunda oba okwegabangula oba okugula b'amalaaya.
So you people, please don't keep playing around with this problem.
Muzeeyi aliko bantu lekera okuzaanira ku kizibu ekyakawuka ka siriimu kuba kaliyo ate kakaaliwo.
Yes, the drugs are there.
Kituufu eddagala liriwo aye litatiinula.
The drugs are there to suppress the virus.
Eddagala liriwo erinigiriza akawuka ako obuta multiply
okukendeza kulwadde.
Eddagala liriwo erikendeeza ku okuzaala kw'akawuka ka siriimu.
But it is not eliminated.
Aye tikitoolawo kawuka ka siriimu mu mubiri gwo kaba kalimu aye baba bakayisaako engeri yekazaalamu.
But the advantage we are looking for
omukisa oguliwo oba kyetuli kunoonya
in suppressing the virus
mu kunigiriza akawuka ak'obutaalula busirikale bungi obulwaire obw'akawuka
is that when it is very much suppressed, it doesn't spread so much.
Nti bw'obanga onumiza eddagala lyo mu biseera akawuka ako kaba nkanigirizibwa tikazaala ino ate tikakuluma ino.
But you who is already infected,
iwe oyaganibwa n'akawuka,
there are certain things you can no longer do.
Waliwo ebintu ebikugaanibwa bw'obanga oyaganibwa nga oli mulwaire w'akawuka ka siriimu.
Because some of like in the army, we discovered that when somebody overexerts himself with the kawuka, it can cause a problem. I want Musova to answer that. Is this still a problem, that one of omuntu ali ku maddagala naye kati nakola ebyamaanyi ennyo? How is the situation now? Because in the past it was still a problem.
Muzeeyi, it remains suppressed. Aye batukoba okukendeezaaku nti bw'obanga oyaganibwa n'akawuka ka siriimu obaku n'ebintu by'oweewala otoyikirizibwa kwegayita na muntu wundi alina akawuka akandi ak'ekika ekindi asobola okusiiga yakuwa akawuka ak'okubiri.
No, but I'm talking about if you exert yourself, like soldiers, for instance.
While it's true that people living with HIV on treatment can live a near normal life, but
no, it's okay. It's okay.
if, for instance,
no problem.
there is exertion, the condition of the military, they are exercising, the military may not be at the same time, they may not swallow medicine, so the likelihood that they can develop problem AIDS is not the same as a person without HIV.
But even if they are following everything, there is no deduction to your capacity or what?
There is deduction.
Yeah.
You are not 100% the same equivalent to a person who is without HIV.
Yes, so translate that in Nyakato.
Muzeeyi aliko nti omuntu bw'abanga afunye akawuka ka siriimu tuli bantu babiri. Omuntu afunye akawuka ka siriimu ng'ali ku iddagala aba kunendawulo n'ono afunye akawuka ka siriimu nga talina iddagala. Ola ali kumira iddagala mu mateeka mu biseera buli lunaku buli mwezi buli mwaka. Akawuka ke iddagala lino likalobera okuziba obuwuka obundi. Ono n'atali kumira akawuka kalula obuwuka bungi ate yafuna n'obuwuka obundi obw'endawulo.
No, but I'm saying that even if you follow everything,
aliko banti bw'obanga ogobereire emitendera gyonna,
if you overexert yourself,
bw'obanga weekase ino wakola ebintu ebitayikirizibwa,
sibiteekerezebwa eby'amaanyi,
ebintu eby'amaanyi,
you can break down.
Osobola okwonoona omubiri gwo.
You can break down and
osobola okunafuya omubiri gwo mu mbeera yonna.
So therefore, don't say that let me get the kawuka.
N'olwekyo otakoba otukange efuna akawuka
with the madagara,
kubanga iddagala liriwo,
I will live a normal life.
Nja kubaawo nga ndi mulamu.
No, you will not die,
toida kufa,
but you have deducted from your capacity.
Toida kufa mangu ayo ida kubanga wekendeziza ku emikisa egy'okubaawo.
Obusobozi bwo, your capacity.
Obusobozi bwo obw'obulamu.
So please, let's stop this indiscipline.
Muzeeyi aliko bantu lekere emisa ey'okwedalabya.
All the Ugandans, the youth,
abavubuka n'abannayuganda twena tulekere awo,
living a risky life.
Tulekere okuba mu mpisa edetulowooza nti ned'obugundufu naddala ed'obwenzi.
You hear the statistics.
Mwana muwulira omuwendo ni marks de batukobye ed'abalwaire b'akawuka ka siriimu mu Uganda ni wano ebuyende.
That in the whole world there are 39 million people with the kawuka.
Nti mu Uganda munsi yonna diri emiliyoni 39 abantu abalwaire ab'akawuka ka siriimu.
People in the whole world are like 7 billion people.
Abantu abasinga munsi yonna balinga busiriiza 7 obuwumbi 7.
Now, out of the 39,
ku bantu miliyoni 39,
1.4 million are in Uganda. That's a very high figure.
Miliyoni ndala n'emitwalo 2 bali balwaire bakawuka ka siriimu.
What percentage is that calculated?
Eyo namba neino ali kunoonya percentage atukobere.
Musoba, you calculate that. 1.4 million out of 39.
Ku bantu ku miliyoni 39 ogwo omuwendo mungi mu Uganda gweraliikiriza ino.
Why should this be the case?
Lwaki kyandibaire kityo bana abantu otuli wano twena?
So that's number 1.
Ekyo kirala.
Number 2.
Namba 2.
Now once you have the kawuka,
kasitoba n'akawuka,
test yourself
weekebeze
and start taking drugs.
Otandiikirewo okumira eddagala ery'akawuka ka siriimu.
And then do it according to the instructions.
Then limire ng'abasawo bwe bakugalagiire.
Although it's not what I prefer for you,
nti waire nga tini kyayenda tukole,
but it's better than you dying.
Kisinga ku okulingirira obulingirire waafa.
Because if you live longer,
kubanga bw'obaawo n'owangaalaku,
you will be able to bring up your children,
osobola okupulaningira abaana bo nga bw'omira eddagala lyo,
so that they can, by the time you leave this world, they are in a better situation.
Nga bw'oba ofiire babaaku niwe bali afazaali.
You can work,
osobola okwekolera emirimu gye egya buliido,
make a contribution,
waba ng'olina by'oyongerezaaku ku kitundu wooba.
And as you heard,
nga bwe muwulire,
you are less infective if the virus is highly suppressed.
nti bw'obanga iwe omulwaire w'akawuka oba ninze nga ndikumira eddagala tisansaanya ino kawuka kano ku bandi okusingako omuntu omulwaire nga talikumira ye asansaanya kangi ku bantu abandi oba oli awo n'abalamu.
Therefore, from the national point of view, it's good.
N'olwekyo aliko bantu kirungi okwekebeza niwe yaganibwa ng'oli mulwaire twala omukisa ogwo omira eddagala kuba liriwo.
Because it will stop you from spreading the disease more aggressively.
Kida kukendeza ku speedi y'okusansanya akawuka ka siriimu eino.
Meanwhile, this AIDS challenge is really a challenge of health in general.
Era aliko banki kali siriimu akali kisoomozo ky'amaanyi ino eri ebyobulamu.
This is because the kawuka of AIDS became like a muyekera.
Olw'ensonga nti akawuka ka siriimu kali oti muyekera.
Because the normal bodies of animals and people have soldiers to guard the body.
Kubanga aliko banti buli omu mu mubiri gwalina obusirikale obutangira obulwaire mu mubiri.
But the problem with the AIDS virus was that it would invade the soldiers and they would not recognize the enemy.
Aye ekikula kyakana akawuka ka siriimu ikotikatya busirikale buno.
So that the soldiers wouldn't know that the barracks has been attacked. Kabukosa
era nga tikalaga nti omuyekera aide yagwa munumba yoba mu barracks yo.
That was it's not only just for AIDS, even another virus may come in future which is like that.
Aliko banti tikawuka ka siriimu ayo omuntu bw'aba omulwaire wa siriimu oba osuubira okufuna n'obuwuka obundi okusinga ku kano.
Obuwuka obw'ekiyekera.
Obuwuka obundi obusobola okukozesa omukisa ogwo kubanga omubiri gw'omunafu bwakugema.
So I am very glad that our people are doing research and they seem to be moving in the vaccine against this AIDS virus, but by extension all the other such dangerous viruses.
Muzeeyi aliko banti musanufu ino olwa enonenkereza ku kawuka ka siriimu n'ebikoleibwawo naddala empiso gye bali kukoba nti ezuulibwa nga bajakubwanga abantu abalwaire ba siriimu.
Looking for a vaccine okugema.
Vaccine eno gye bajja oba empiso gye bajja okugemanga ng'ekinga akawuka ka siriimu. Aliko banti musanufu ino.
I was seeing their work there in the Kidara.
Akobye nti bw'atuuse bamulazeeko empiso era yadibonaku.
They are doing a good job.
Aliko banti balikola omulimu omulungi ino. Banange tukube ku mungalo kubanga okola research tikyangu okufuna empiso y'akawuka ka siriimu.
And then there are even our children who are threatening to treat AIDS completely and kill the virus.
Aliko banti eri abaana baife muno mu Uganda bona abali kusuubiza nti benda okuyidanda abasiriimu oyo ng'awonera irala.
They were there, just here.
Baidyo wano era tuli nabo.
So I'm going to support them. I will fund them fully so that they.
Muzeeyi ayikiriza nti ajja kubawa esente bongere okunonereza ku idagala eriwoneza irala siriimu. Iye abadyope mukube ku mungalo banange sayansi muzibu.
Furthermore,
aliko banti neera
as we are still struggling with the kawuka, with the ARVs, with the amadagalagari war,
nga tukabonaabona n'eddagala eririwo oba n'obulwaire bwa siriimu.
Our people have found the medicine which you take one pistol every 2 months.
Abana sayansi oba abakugu mu kawuka ka siriimu bazuire empiso ng'omuntu ajja kubibwanga empiso ndala buli luvannyuma lwa myezi 2 eya siriimu.
Instead of the every day empeke.
Okusinga kw'empeke ya buli lunaku eya buli wiiki eya buli mwezi eya buli mwaka.
So our people, I want to thank our scientists for really doing a good job.
Alikwebaza abana sayansi oba ba researchers abazuire empiso eyo eziiza siriimu.
Now,
Buti
I will come back to talk about wealth creation.
ajja kuyira ayogere ku bya wealth creation.
Ebyobugaiga.
Ebyobugaiga eby'omumaka.
When I was coming here, I was looking near the road.
Nti bw'abaire ali kuyida alinze nga kumbalimbali okw'enguudo.
And I was wondering, abantu bano bakyali mu kulambaala oba?
Abaire ali kwewuunya oba tukaali mu kulambaala oba bbe.
But I was happy.
Aye amaze yasanukamu.
I saw some good cassava.
Abwine muwogo.
Muwogo.
Abwine muwogo buli mu nnimiro.
Awone nenkoba nti wakiri.
Yakoba ati wakiri kwate nga muwogo anirira ino.
At least they have food.
Aikiriza nti awo yadde tulina emmere.
But
aye
from 1996
okuva mu 1996
we told you about the 4 acres model.
Yatukoba okulima nga amaka
okukola ebyobugaga mu acres, okukola awafunda awa acres 4 n'okudda wansi.
Okukolera mu ikandala ng'olima otaawa ebintu bya mirundi 4. Ebyobugaiga bya mirundi 4.
Okukola awafunda wa acres 4 n'okola n'ojja mu sente nyingi wadde okoledde awafunda wa acres 4.
Ekyo mutegeire banange ndowooza.
Kiremu mu Lusoga.
Akobye nti okukolera mu eka 4 eka modo ng'oli ku itaka lyo aye ng'osobola okukolera ebintu ku acres edido 4 waka.
Now, that time we advised you that if you happen to have 4 acres,
yakoba nti bw'oba ng'olina eka 4 wakaawo,
put 1 acre under coffee if your area can grow coffee.
Taawa emwani mu eka ndala bw'oba ng'ekifo ky'obaamu kimeramu emwani.
Second, put 2nd acre for fruits, especially mangoes, oranges, or pineapples.
Eka yindi oteewa ebibala nga fene, emiyembe, emichungwa, mangada n'ebindi n'enanasi.
Then 3rd acre omuddo gw'ente.
Then eka eyokusatu
pasture of dairy farming.
Eka eyokusatu oteewa isubi eryetulimira ente etukamamu amata.
4th acre you put food for the home like the cassava which you have grown.
Eka eyokuna oteewa emmere gyetulya waka nga muwogo n'emboli.
Then emanju in the backyard you do poultry farming.
Then einuma osobola okwayirayo enkoko.
You can also do piggery in the backyard.
Oba osobola okulundirayo buno bunaikula obubiidi.
Then in the swamp, near the swamps, on the side of the ebibali of the swamps,
then kumbali ow'ebibali
we do fish farming.
Okole okulunda ebyenanda.
The fish farming can give you more money than the rice you are doing now in the swamps.
Okulunda ebyenanda kusinga okutoola omutyere waata mu kibali ekyo. Ofuna esente nnyingi mu kulunda ebyenanda okusinga kwalimyemu omutyere mu kibali.
These 7 activities are what we recommended to you in 1996 manifesto of the NRM.
Nti bino bye yatukoba okukola mu manifesto ye yasooka mu 1996.
Now recently the Busoga MPs
nti ebiseera ebyebiwaire ababaka ab'ebusoga
led by Right Honorable Kadaga
nga bakulemberwa mu Right Honorable
and Chakulaga, you know, who is an agricultural person.
Ni Honorable Chakulaga ow'ekigulu akulira ebyokulima oba Minister wa Agriculture.
Learning from the good example of Karangala.
Baje Karangala.
They recommended that we add ebinazi, palm oil.
Basaba nti twongereko okulima ebinazi mu Busoga.
And I said, okay, Chibumba simibwe.
Era President yayikiriza nti kale Musengu asaakibwe.
So therefore,
olwekyo
I'm coming back.
Alikuira.
I really want us to get moving. I really want us to get moving.
Ayenze tutandike okutambula.
Because those who have listened are doing very well in other parts of the country.
Ababawuliriza byabayira atambula tasomesa bakoma era batambulire.
If you take fish,
nti bw'otwala ekyenanda,
you are now fighting to go in the lake and fish in the lake.
Wajja walwanira mu nnanda.
Now they are fighting to go to the lake to fish in the lake.
Kulwanira twena enanda.
But you can grow you can breed your own fish in yourself.
Aliko banti mu kifo ekyo twena okulwanira enanda, omuntu sekinnoomu osobola okulunda ebyenanda byo ng'omuntu okusingako okujja mu nnanda.
And the government can help you to do that.
Era aliko banti aida ayikirize asupportinga abo bayamba abo abanaba bayikirize okulunda ebyenanda.
And we have already done an experiment.
Alina wakozeeku okugezesa okwo.
You find they get very good money.
Era bafune sente mu bungi ate baba bulungi.
I don't know whether this is your mukoro. With my mukoro, I will show you on the video.
Ajja kutulaga ku video ku mukolo guno.
No, omukoro gwange.
Omukolo gugwe aida tulaga ku lulala video.
When I come back.
Bwana abayize wano ku nsonga eyo.
So we must chase poverty from here.
Tulina okugoba obwavu okuva wano ebidyope.
Now these areas of Uganda are very rich.
Ekifo kino eky'ebidyope kigayiga ino.
Ebifo bino bya Uganda
ebifo bya Uganda bigayiga ino.
Ebyobuvanjuba
bigayiga ino.
Because God created them very well.
Kubanga Katonda yabiwunda bulungi.
You find which is not a high hill, which is not a hill, just raised ground, which is dry land. Wayagana obukalu tulinabwo, wayagana wandi obusozi ayenga walungi wakalu bulungi. Now on this side you find a wetland, and on this side you find a wetland. Olundi kumbali wayaganayo ekibali n'awandi wayaganawo ebibali. When I went to Namutumba, bwe yaje Namutumba, there was a place where I went. I traveled for 5 kilometers on dry land. Alina ekifo kye yatambula mu nga kilometers 5 ku bukalu. Into a wetland. Then yatambula kuno okujja mu kibali. Which was like 200 meters. Waliwo nga meters 2. Then I went to another dry land. Yajja wandi nga waliwo kwa akasozi. For another like 5 kilometers. Nga kilometers 5. Then into a wetland. Then yajja kuni mu kibali ekindi. Mukabali. Kibumba really was caring about Uganda. Katonda yawunda Uganda. He was caring a lot. Era yafaayo ino nga awunda Uganda. Yes. It's so rich. Ngayiga ino. Eitaka wano, amaadi wano. Eitaka kumbali, wano maadi kumbali. Just nearby. Kumpi awo. Now, the problem is that you are now misusing and underutilizing the land we have here. Obuzibu obuliwo nti awandi tuli kukozesa bubi ebintu bino awandi tutuli kubikozesa. Tukozesa katono. Tulikozesa katono underutilizing. Tulikozesa katono ate awandi twakozesa bubi. How? Nti mu ngeri ki? The dry land, eitaka ikalu, people are growing crops. Abantu bali kulima ku emere. Like the cassava I have talked about. Nga muwogo gwali kwogerako. But there is no irrigation. Aye wazirawo kyetweta irrigation mu Lusoga twena tukyeta tutyo. Oba kufikirira. There is no irrigation. Wazira kufikirira. Yet in 1967. Atenga mu 1967. When I was going to university in Dar es Salaam. Bwe yali ajja akali ku university Dar es Salaam Tanzania. I used to pass by Madvani.
yabitanga wale wa madivani.
And he had already started irrigating the sugar cane.
Nga madivani akozesa obupipe obufukirira ebikado bye.
Now you don't see any irrigation anywhere.
Mpera notakabona kukufukirira birime wantu wona wona okutola kwa madivani.
So that means that dry land is underutilized.
Ekyo kiba kitegeeza nti eitaka eryo tiriri kukozesebwa kimala.
Then you go in the wetland.
Then bw'obanga ogiire mu kibali,
you plant rice now.
Tusimba mu mutyere.
The mutyere you get very little.
Wafuna obutyere butono ali buti.
The kibalo which we have done in Limoto.
Ekibalo kye yakolere mu project ere abali kunanda we n'abasomesa yebete Limoto.
Oba baruwa nowenza kutuyamba bolimo omukyere muyikeemu mu kibali ojja mu sente meka.
Alikubuuza nti bw'olima mu kibali nga yikandala ofuna mu sente imeka
omwaka.
Mu mwaka ey'omukyere wanika omukono bw'oba oli kumpi.
Ono omusaadha ono.
Omusaadha oyo vaayo mangu mangu obuuke oti kawuuli oyire mu ansa.
Excellency, we were ready to social and I was in the meeting. They can go to you press up about the man. Wobola in the name of Minister of Satu, Obadina. Take us over from Lamba, of Minister of Manana. I am Motu Yaine, Watuyana, Mamma, and so.
Katuwolo, you can hear now the slavery which is there. You can hear the slavery which is there.
Muzeyi aliko banti ndoza mulikuulira obwiru obuliwo obwiru n'okuba omupakasi.
Obwiru slavery.
Obwiru
working for nothing.
Kukolerera bwerere.
Emitwalo 8 omwaka.
Emitwalo 8 omwaka.
From 1 acre of fruits.
Emitwalo 8 from
1 acre of fruits.
Eka endala ey'ebibala.
You can get even 60 million. When I come back, I will give you the kibalo when I come back. So, if you are to irrigate 1 acre of fruits or coffee, you will get much more money.
Aliko bantu bw'ofukire 1 acre y'ebibala oba yikandala eyo y'emwani ofune sente kamala ino.
The fish farming you are talking about.
Okulunda ebyenanda byatera otukobaku.
If we do the bidiba.
Bwe tubanga tulimye ebidiba.
In 1 acre.
Mu eka ndala.
We can put 8 bidiba.
Tusobola okutaawa ebidiba 8.
They were getting about 80 million shillings.
Babaire bafunanga mu emiliyoni 8.
So we need to okwenenya.
N'olwekyo tulina okwesaasira oba okwewala. Okwenenya.
To repent. Gaba lokole.
Okwenenya.
Umanyeze naliko omulokole. Ebyo mulokole mbiri.
Ebyobulokole muzeeyi abindi ate ayiko ati yali ku omulokole.
Twakozesanga okwenenya bw'okola ekibi niwenenya Katonda akusonyiwa.
Bwe yakolanga ebibi ng'ojja weenenya Katonda yakusaasira.
So we need to repent.
So tulina okwenenya.
And say, let's stop.
Tulekere.
Underutilizing the dry land.
Tukozese itaka lino bulungi ery'okubukalu.
Stop underutilizing.
Ate tulekere obutalikozesa kimala.
The dry land.
Tulekere obutakozesa itaka lya kubukalu. nga tukozesa mu mbeera ey'obutali nti tulirikozesa mu butamala.
Then we now use the wetland in a proper way.
Ebibali tubikozese mu ngeri esaanidde.
Now, in the misusing the land,
mperano mu kukozesa obubi eitaka.
When I was coming here, I saw the hills with a lot of rocks and so on.
Bw'abaire ali kuyita bw'alina ensozi n'amabaalebaale kumbali mangi.
Now I know these parts of Uganda.
Alikoba nti wano aidiwo bulungi.
Ebitundu bya Uganda mbidi.
Ebitundu ebisinga bulungi ebungi mu Uganda abidi.
Now I am sure those hills used to have trees on top of those rocks.
Ye kakasanga ensozi edo dabwine oba amabaale ago kwabanga ku emiti.
But the meat now has been all cut.
Aye emiti gyatemebwa.
Now when you are cutting the trees on the hills,
bw'obanga oli kutema emiti oba okusoola w'ensozi,
you are destroying your lugogo. Olembeka amazi, your lugogo.
Oli kwonoona obutondo obusobola okuleeta amaadi mu kitundu.
Olugogo, use the word olugogo in Olusoga.
Babeera tubweta lugogo. Omufuleedo ogulembeka amaadi.
Because Chibumba arranged that those hills,
kubanga Katonda yatonda oba yawunda,
when they have vegetation on top of them,
nti bw'oba n'olusozi,
vegetation on top of them, awali emiti
kuba kwengulukira oba emiti oba ebintu ebindi ebimera ku lusozi okwo.
The water, those miti and ebimera trap the water and force it into the soil.
Amaadi ago emiti n'ebyo ebimera ku nsozi okwo bimala byasikiriza amaadi okutoona ku itaka.
And sink in the soil.
Byayingira mu itaka.
Then it goes underground and it emerges in the lowland as ensulo, as spring.
Then webijayo wansi mu itaka byesolooza yafuuka ensulo.
So when you cut the trees on the hills,
so bwe musala emiti egiri ku nsozi okwo n'ebimeraku,
you are destroying your lugogo.
Muli kwonoona omugogo oba omufuleedo okusobola okusikiriza amaadi okutoona. Kibumba put for you there. Katonda byatuteeraku obuteera eby'obwereere.
So really I would like us to agree,
alikwenda tuikirizaganye,
and we plant those hills with the trees.
Tusimbe ku nsozi okwo konako n'emiti.
The trees can be owned by the people around.
Emiti gisobola okuba ku beene gyo naddala abaviira okumpi n'ensozi edo.
Does it have to be government to own the trees?
Ti gavumenti negyo okuba nti ni yenedo.
But we need the lugogo.
Aye twetaaga ebisikiriza ebyo amaadi okutoona. So that
Kibumba kyategekera tuleme okukyonoona.
Tuloba okwonoona ebutonde Katonda bwe yatuwa eby'obwereere.
Now the children were singing from Chankole. Is this Chankole or Chankole?
Abaana ab'Ekyankole babaire wano nga bali kwemba. Chankole and Kinaitakali n'abendye.
Is this Chankole or Chankole?
Chankole.
Yeah, umanyuma mugenda n'umuono olulimi lwaife. Mulo olulimi lwaisu. Muloza tetulumaite.
It is Chankole.
Enkoleze eki.
Chankole.
Enkole.
Mbwenkole n'eki.
Waliwo omukenyi wano ni amaite.
Baba mukenyi yono wano sebo mulemo situke.
Enkoleze eki.
Mbwenkole n'eki situka yoide. Baba oba in what perspective? Enkole.
Enkole, it is double O.
Muzee ky'omulukenye kibulamu.
Kyali Nyankole.
Kiri mu Lunyankole.
Enkole means cowpeas.
Omunyalaize.
Enkole
means cowpeas. Enkole.
You're right, His Excellency. One person has testified here.
Nze Isebo President. Enkole kiri mu lulimi olunyala oba oluluuli. Nkole it means peas. Absolutely, cowpeas, not peas, just cowpeas. Because your language and our language it is the same. Kiri mu luluuli olunyala abaluuli be baali wano be bajja ne bakiyita kyankole. So temuddamu okukyogera bintu kyankole. It's not kyankole. It is kyankole. Kyankole. Kati nze okubasomesa oluduuli. Yes. Oluduuli n'olunyala. Oluduuli temurumayite kusa. Omukulu amanya gange nze Kiza William Wagumaare ndi musajja muluuli era twajja wano fa abaluuli abali wano abajja wano muluuli munyala kale ngero sisiri kya person NRM n'embera kya person LC3 kale somesa abantu bano abasenze wano basomese abantu nza kubasomesya kuba ndi musaza muluuli munyala abasomese ebyobujjajja yesebo webale kuyiza sebo kati Enkole means cowpeas.
Mzee yaliko bantu kyankole kitegeeza empindi.
Empindi?
Yes. Mzee inedo ife tudeeta mpindi wodeeta cowpeas.
Oh.
Yes.
Empindi.
Ife mulusoga tudeeta mpindi ole munyala nze ndeeta mpindi.
Kale. Now, the LOC chairperson, five chairperson, spoke very well.
Aliko ban chairperson LOC 5 ayogeire bulungi.
Because he linked Minister of Health. He pointed out that the landing sites have an extra burden of AIDS.
Akobye nti abantu abali okumpi n'emyalo bali kubona abanayino n'akawuka ka siriimu.
And therefore,
n'olwekyo
we should emphasize having health center series
tulina okuta isira
in those sub-counties.
Tulina okuta isira ku sub-counties edizira mu malwaliro.
So that I think this one we can work on specifically. I had not heard that argument. I'm now going to take it up.
Mzee yaikiriza nti abaire akali kiwulira yaikiriza ajja kikolaku.
Because it is sensible that every sub-county which is near the landing site should have a health center 3.
Nti buli mu manifesto ye buli sub-county erina okuba ne health center 3. So aikiriza amagombolola agazira mu malwaliro ajja to health center 3s.
Now, on the issue of the nuclear plant,
ku nsonga ye Kasaato gye mwidi obulungi abadyope.
This is very important for the whole country.
Kino kirungi nnyo ku Uganda yona.
Because we have been using the hydropower.
Tubaire tukozesa amasanalaze ag'amaadi.
But the different falls along the Nile, falls of Ruma.
Ebiyiririro ebingi ebyoku maadi.
In the whole along the whole Nile.
Ku mwiga Kiyira oba Nile. Gwona.
Will give us a total of about 10,000 megawatts.
Bidatuwa amasanalaze agogemuulire gako 10,000 megawatts.
Omutwalo
mulala ogw'amasanalaze ogwa megawatts.
Now you can see Kiyira, the other old one.
Nti bwe mubitagale mubona Kiyira omukaire.
Is 180 megawatts.
Erichi 18 megawatts.
The other one on the east, the other one is called Narubare. The one on the Buganda side is called Narubare.
Ya Narubare
is 180 megawatts.
yona ya 18 megawatts.
The one on this side is 200 megawatts.
Eya Isimba Dam yona eri 200 megawatts. Kira.
The Bujagali is 262 megawatts.
Budagali eri 260. 262 na 2 megawatts.
Isimba 183 megawatts.
Isimba Damu 180 18 na 3 megawatts.
Karuma 650 megawatts.
Karuma eri lukaga atanu.
Now this one here will be 8,000 megawatts.
Eyekasata aliko banti ejja kuba mitwalo 8 megawatts.
It will be kanana simitwalo.
Kanana megawatts.
So in other words, Gari Amabi Rogo now, all these other dams that we already have, will not have as much electricity as this one here. And that's why we are going to build some others in other parts of Uganda. So it's very important for Uganda, but also for this area.
Kijja kuyamba Uganda as a country aya ate kijja kusinga kuyambira irala omuntu ow'ebidyope wano.
Now, in order to maximally benefit the area, we can plan.
Ayikiriza nti okuyamba kwoba okufunamu okuganulwamu eno ajja kuplaninga n'abadyope beene.
Whether we put some industrial parks nearby and so on, so that if the Masanyarazi is near, that's how Jinja came up. Jinja became a big city because of the other smaller dam of Narubari.
Nti bw'anaabanga ayidye oba ize amasanyalaze agegali amangi adda kuzimbira kwa makolero nga Idinda bwe yali etyo yona bwe yatandika.
So it's very important. The area should be preserved. They shouldn't. The ones who have been compensated should not go back there.
So beba naba baliyirire mutayirayo mugane tutewo oba omukulembeza atuterewo enkulankulana eyo.
Because we planned long ago.
Kubanga bakiteesa kuira.
We started training people.
Basomesa ira abantu abajja okolawo.
We created a nuclear energy unit in the ministry.
Byonna byonna ni ministry yeteekateeka ira.
All that we did long ago.
Ebyo byonna baabikola mu biseera eby'einumaawo.
About where to site the courses, that's no problem. We shall discuss it.
Wamunajja ekyomutafaayo akobye nti ti kizibu kye.
We shall plan it. We shall plan for them. For
akobye alijja kitegeka era idda abategekera bulungi.
Regarding the ferries.
Ebigamagana ni ku bidyeri.
I didn't know what the problem is, but we shall find out and sort out the problem, because the problem was to get the ferry. Now you say the ferry is there, but there is some problem. I will find out what it is.
Akobye nchabaire taidi kizibu kibiriku aya ajja kunonereza then akitereze ebidyeri bitandike.
And the ice plant.
Ni ice plant je tweta white elephant.
Now the last point.
Ensonga esembayo.
Are 2 points.
Diri nsonga ibiri.
Mukene
gwa muidyera twena tumweta Mukene.
The other time I didn't know much about Mukene, but I got a good lesson from the fish people.
Nti yali tayetegeezanga bulungi kya Mukene yamala yakitegeera ng'abantu beene abavubi bamutegeeziza.
We met in Entebbe and we agreed how it can be done.
Yabeetewuwe yateesa nabo era bajja kupulaninga okubona bwe kisobola okutugasa nitwena okuganulwamu obulungi.
So I will send the Minister of Fisheries.
So ajja kusindika minisita agemagana n'ebyenvuba.
Helen Adoa.
Minister Honorable Helen Adoa.
And in my tour of these areas, they will be with me.
Era mu ntambula ye yeena bona bajja kutambuliramu.
And then they will brief you how it should be done.
Then baida kututegeeza ensonga bw'enaagemebwa obulungi n'engeri gye banaakikolamu.
They were talking of kokota and so on. Nsagala kubitabula.
Nti abiwulira byonna bimuli kwogerangako ebyakokota n'ebindi aye bidda kutereera.
The Sagara Kubitabula, I don't want to talk about them because I'm not as well informed as the ministers and the commissioner.
Akobi entayenda kwogera ku nsonga eyo kuba azira bumanirivu ino mu nsonga eyo asabye tuikirize lwanaatambula ne ba minisita abagemagana ku ensonga ed'ebyenvuba ayida kubawa omukisa.
But we talked about the fishing in general.
Aye yayogera ku kubyenvuba mu bulambalamba.
This word emyoga. Ekigambo ekyo emyoga.
Ekyo mukiwulira omukulu kyakobye nti emiyoga.
Nti ekigambo ekyo, that word.
Ekigambo ekyo eky'emiyoga.
I got it from Runyankole.
Yakitoola mu lulimi Runyankole.
It means
kitegeeza
specialization y'obujajja.
Ekintu eky'obudaada bw'abadaada.
That's how we are organized.
Nti awo we yakitereekeza oba we yakitoola.
How we were organized, we the Ugandans.
Nti awo Uganda we yatoola ekigambo eky'emiyoga.
Fe Abannayuganda.
Fe Abannayuganda awo we twatoolera ekigambo kya emiyoga.
Bwe twali fe Abannayuganda engeri gye twali tukolamu emirimu edda.
Engeri gye twakolangamu emirimu eira.
You would have cattle keepers.
Ng'abandi tuli balunzi.
You would have cultivators.
Ng'abandi balimi.
You would have abawesi, blacksmith.
N'abandi nga baweesi.
You would have woodwork, carpentry.
Abandi nga babaadi.
You would have the people of the clay.
Abandi nga bawumbi bansuwa.
And we had abajubi, we had fishermen.
N'abandi nga bavubi.
So with the modernization, what I have been encouraging has been to use obujajja and modernize it.
So bw'agiire nga yeetegereza emutindo omuyaka oguliwo n'ebiro eby'obudaada.
Now, this is what we have done with the crops.
Kyagiire ng'akola nga kigemagana n'ebintu bye tulima.
Bananas,
amatooke,
coffee.
Emwani.
We are using the people, many of them with obujajja of cultivation.
Alikozesa enima ey'ekinawaira ng'agayitamu n'empyaka.
No, relying on the families, communities which were originally crop people, who were originally abalimi.
Ngako akoba nti mu by'obulimi oba mu nnima yaife ey'abantu ababuliido.
Use the people who are traditionally cultivators to do modern farming, to modernize their farming.
Ngakubiriza abantu abaali baidye ennima ey'ekinawaira nga tukozesa ennima ey'omutindo.
And we have done the same with the cattle keepers.
Era n'ekirala ekyo kyakoze n'abalunzi ab'ente oba abaayi ab'ente.
Sometimes we find they combine both cattle keeping and crops.
Oluyisi akoba nti tugayite bw'oba olimaku ate walunda n'ebyayo.
So when it comes to fisheries,
so bwe kituuka ku by'okuvuba,
my question, because now you are saying soldiers, we brought soldiers because there was a crisis on the lake.
Yaleeta abanamagye okukuuma ku nnanda kubanga waliwo obuzibu ku nnanda.
The lake was being destroyed, the lakes.
Ennanda yali eri kwonoonebwa ino.
You could no longer get any big fish.
Nga tofuna mu kyenanda kinene oba ekikulu ekyegasa.
There is a fish which I saw there in the tent. Can somebody bring it here?
Ali kusaba ekyenanda ekyo ekiri mu tenti kidde wano. Kyatuuse yalambuula ku kibaire kyenanda kikulu ino ate nga kinene. Empuuta ebaire awo mwanguyeeku. ente eyo mugirwisiizaayo mwangu yekuba nange ente ey'omunanda gyowera yanguwa kulumuka kuno okulumuka ayi bitukifiire tukikaluma
mwimirire wali
omukulu wako ye munine wale ku kapodium ako sorry mutakita mubaafu musitule muwanike abantu babone president kyalikoba tikiba lumendi nti kifiire buti kikiramu mukiwanike buli omu abone bulungi
face the other way
mulingirire era eri abantu babone
that side
mukingulize abantu babone bulungi kizito.
This is what you are catching now.
Ekyo president aliko anti butini kyetulige masaawa dino.
And they are telling me that this is half of what they caught the other day.
Bamukobye nti kino kitundu kubire byetuwaire tugabira abagenyi abaida.
They got something which was bigger.
Eriyo kyebawa saabalabirizi kyali kisingawo, kyebawa baba kyabazinga kyali kisingawo.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mwebale ino banange.
The other people didn't see properly. You first.
Mukyetoloze kuba abantu abasinga bungi tibabweine mutaire wantu walala wonka mwetolole.
No, you on the other side. Okay. Gwevayo.
Muchinguluze.
Jagala bali bebala abanzisi.
Kizitowa.
The ones on this side.
Ali mu buluvayo ali kuchingiriza abantu awotyo. Bana abataka mukibwaire. Neyo erimu ekiratano president gyalikoba nti nakyayenda tubimengege enko.
Thank you. You go back. You take your. Now we brought the soldiers on the lake because of the crisis which had been created by the ones involved in the fishing.
President alikoba nti tiyaleta bana maje bona kwegaita kuba bavubi aye yabaleta olw'embeera eyokwerinda eyali kunanda
eyokwonoona si kwerinda
eyokwonoona obutondo obw'enanda.
So my question has been,
ekibuuzo kye kibaire,
who are the fishermen of Bujajja in these areas?
Bani abavubi abakasangwawo bene nanda dino,
so that they are the ones we rely on to guard the lake.
Nti betube tujire ku oba bakuume obutondo obw'enanda
and use it in a planned way.
Oba basobola okugikozesa mu ngeri y'obuvunaanyizibwa oba emplanning.
Si oba and ate
nga basobola okugikozesa mu ngeri y'obuvunaanyizibwa.
Now, this is what I want to discuss with the elders.
Kino kyali kwenda okutukoba ife abakulu abaliwo.
Because the nyanja is ours, all of us.
Enanda yaife twena abantu ababulido.
Nange owerwakitula nange ndinamu omugabo ku nyanja eno.
Yena verwakitula aikirizibwa okufuna ku mugabo ku nanda eno.
Kubanga ni muna Uganda.
Kubanga yena muna Uganda.
Eno nyanja si ya muntu.
Enanda ya butonde ezira ku mweneyo.
Ya Uganda yonna.
Ya Uganda yonna.
Naye twetaaga anatukulembera. Yetaaga
omuntu anatukulembera ogikozesa obulungi.
Okukozesa ennyanja eyo omubuvunaanyizibwa.
Okugikozesa mu ngeri y'obuvunaanyizibwa.
Nze omulunzi.
Ye omulunzi ow'ente.
Mbakulembera mu by'okulunda.
Ye omwayo ow'ente atukulembere mu kwaya ente.
Amata munywa obunywi.
Amata tunywe wabunwe.
Temumaite gye gava.
Nti ife amata tunywa wabunwe tutwidiye gava.
Mugasanga mu factory.
Tugagaana mu mafactory.
N'ogula amata.
Wagula amata ye nga toyidiye gava.
Ensiri zinuma tozimanyi.
Ensiri yene dimuluma tutididi.
Ensiko gyembeeramu togimaite.
ensiko gyabitamu oba gyasiiba mututu gidi
ng'onywa amata bunywi
muno tuno bwabunwa amata
naye kati nze nkakalukana ku byamata
aye akakalukana ku byamata
ebyennyanja sibisobola banange ebyennyanja sibisobola
ebyebyenanda tabisobolera irala banange era atukobeire
kati bwondeeta Museveni tondese mu nyanja otegeera nti ennyanja efudde
bw'oleeta nti oleeta Pulezidenti Museveni mu nanda ey'enanda efiire
kubanga ebyennyanja tabimayite
ebyenanda tabiidi
kati mbuuza
alikubuuza
bakansangwawo ab'ennyanja bebaani
bakaswangawo ab'enanda nibaani
so that betubatukiriza tuwa license okubeera ku jjanja eyo
ayikiriza abo bakaswangwawo baana ababe baweebwe license okukolera mu nanda
ate nabo batono si mujjuzo okujjola mu nyanja bangi abayitiridde
ate nga bona tajja kubayikiriza kwiduza nanda abandi balina kubaako ebindi bye bakola
olaba Namboole tugamba nti bwe mumagala kulaba omupiira abantu emitwalo enabokka be bakkirizibwa okuyingira mu Namboole
atuwa ekizampo y'ekisaawe ky'Enamboole eky'omupiira batawo omuwendo gw'abantu ogwikirizibwa okuyingira olunaku olwo
kati okugamba nti nedda akakadde konna kayingire
tibakoba nti kakaalire k'abantu n'ababe bayingire awo wabaawo obuzibu
tesobola kukikkiriza
tikisoboka busoboke
kubanga ebintu bibiri ebyonoonya ennyanja
ebintu bibiri ebyonoonyesa enanda eyo
envuba embi n'omujjuzo oguli ku nyanja
n'abantu okuba nga bangi ino mu mwalo omwo
kati tunakikola tutya
tunakikola batusale magezi ki okutoolawo ekizibu eky'omwiduzo kunanga
kati ngenda kusinkana bazeeyi banansangwawo
akobye nti ayikiriza ajja kwagaana n'abazeeyi bakasangwawo ab'okunanda tuyikiriza oba bayikirizaganye
nti baani banansangwawo b'ennyanja eno
baani abakulu ab'enanda eyo oba bakasangwawo
tukuwadde obuvunaanyizibwa ennyanja eno okuva wano okutuuka wali
abawe emitendera nti wenkuwaire enanda eno okuva wano paka wale
kubanga ennyanja yaffe ffenna nange nnamu omugabo
yeena alinamu omugabo ate enanda yaife twena
naye nze ndi wala ate sirinako bumanyirivu
ayeye taidi kubuna azira bumanyirivu kunanda okwo
so n'olwekyo abaserikale singa tutereeza ekyo abaserikale mbajjawo tikubanga bajja ku lwakabenje akaaliwo
nti bayida olw'obuzibu ebwaliwo
nabo bayinza kuba bakola ensobi zaabwe abo mubaloope tubakwate
boona balinza okuba bakola ensobi daibwe abawaire omukisa mubawawaabire aidda kubagema
mubatyaki
mubatyakuki
mubatyaki
mbumutyaki
emundu zenna emundu ezisinga obundu buno obuli wano kale gwe jangu obaloope kinene yani
Muserikale.
Kinene iz'olusesi ziliyani.
Kinene muntu.
Yesebo.
Mwana inchi.
Yesebo.
Kale ngani No, Linda call.
Banange mwikaikane president ayogere yetuli.
Write the contact of that person. Is Agaba here?
Mwani nazava okwogera idowe yo namba yo.
Njagala esimu yo. Tote kinene. Kinene ngenda kumfura mtono. That's the one. You see you people.
Banange mwikaikane president ayogere yetuli.
The NRM.
President aliko banti NRM.
Gave you a weapon.
Yatuwa ekyokulwanisa.
Which you don't use.
Kyatutakozesa.
This is the weapon of the LC system.
Kino kyakulwanisa kya LC system. Oba ekyenkola ya LC.
Because every village, before I forget, I want to give 6 million to the LC1 chairperson.
Muzee yaikiriza ngaka alikwerabira awaire LC chairperson wachiwantame milioni mukaga.
Yegurire pikipiki.
Aje agure pikipiki. Baba tweyanziza tusinye bukina.
This corruption
aliko banki obuli bw'enguzi
of the government workers
obw'abakozi ba gavumenti
was very well known to me.
Abayira abwidiku era abayira abwidino.
Was well known.
Yali abwidi bulungi ino.
Because I used to see it during the time of the British.
Yabubonanga okuva ira ku mulembe gw'abazungu aba Britain.
And I used to see it during the independence.
Yabubonanga ku lunaku olwo lwa independence.
So
lw'ameefuga.
That's why
n'ensonga lwaki
when we took over the government,
bwe yatwala obuyinza,
the Gombora chief was maintained.
Gombola chief yabangawo era nga bamukozesa.
Twamulekawo.
Era yamulekawo.
Owomuluka twamulekawo.
Owomuluka ye n'akaaliwo ku mulembe gwe era atuyamba.
DC twamulekawo.
DC ye n'akaaliwo ni RDC buti Kawa yini.
RDC mulala.
Kawo.
Kati naye kubanga nali sibesiga.
Olwokubanga yali tabeesiga.
Yensonga nagamba nti buli kyalo beerondere omukulembeze waabwe.
Kyova yasalawo nti buli kyalo kibe n'omukulembeze bwayo n'omukulembeze waakyo.
Abakozi ba gavumenti we bali.
Abakozi ba gavumenti baliwo.
But you people mwerondere omukulembeze wammwe ku kyalo.
Aye imwe abantu abawo obuyinza mulondo omukulembeze waimwe ku kyalo buli kyalo. Kumuluka kwona tulonde.
Kugombolora.
Ni kuigombola kwona tulonde.
Kusaza, this is the member of parliament.
N'ababaka ba parliament bona mwesalira omwerondera.
The chairperson wa district yemwe ababa bamulonda.
Ni chairperson LC5 era ni mwerondera.
Kati abantu abo ebintu ebibi nga bino biba bitya mu kitundu ne batabimanya.
Nti ebintu nga bino lwaki biba mu kitundu nga ife abakulembeze tutubidiku.
Chairperson kugamba chikwecho. Kuanga wano bakaba ati chairperson.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Yogera
webale ino mukama if Your Excellency. Bankobera ati ntumulerukenye. Okuvuba kuliwo. Okuvuba kwa bekononekere. Okuvuba nosindika abaisirukale baize baterera ennyanja. Aye mu ripoti yange gye nkwerere mukama wange abaisirukale babanga bakyuka mu kwabasookere baizire bakuba abantu emigo wano n'abantu abaswika 20 bafuire mu nyanza. Lwaki nga bamaite nti we bakwata kuti wawone nga niwe baba bakali mutuka kwabuka nago mu nyanza. Number 2 ni bakaka abantu nti mulino ogula maato ng'ate agamato nigagasalirwewo agataki bagefuuti 26 wabula bateekerewo nti eryato olyo linaaligula ku FPU gwakulagire wabairewo omujasi gwe bayatanga lugumayo niye yabaireko ebiseera ebyo nga bw'otaga lyato nga lizwire ku bajasi toliteeko ku nyanza. Era abantu batuleetera maato nibasasula maato agawere 15,000 abantu nga 15 bakali kufuna maato gaibwa up to now. And when I reported this ku Prime Minister we yaizireno natuleetera Minister of Fisheries Honorable Andowa Helen natuleetera Minister ibasindikire State of Defense Honorable Both naiza nibatandika okusagira omusaiza gwe beeta kyalimpa nga batukobere niyo go balagire ntugule kwa maato kyalipa na gotawo ni baba bamukwatira afande Kaija I think was a commandant naiza ni baba bamukwatira Erango ni baiza bamusiva ebuyende ni batyama mu RDC's office na yabo mukoti na ikirira nti buli mwezi yaletanga amaato 18 yaletereka emyezi 2 amaato 28 na gotawo. Okuzwawo nibaiza nibatwala omwalo gwe Kapyokolo okyamano wanu gwatumwireku nibakoba nti within the river reserve a fragile ecosystem nibakoba abantu bazwemu nibabinga mu abantu nibaleka mayumba nibabatyamo mu nyumba eje jabataka era ne disitindi nayo bwe bakola ati bazwemu nibagana Minister natukuba they will compensate paka saa eno kubitira omwaka mulamba nandi bakompensatinga. Now, the issue under question today, eya kinene, n'abantu abandi, it is spoken about. There is a lot. Waliga bali kole envuba ensana obutimba obusanga akoko obwoineku, nigabawe kukutu, alright honorable Kadaga gyatumire ku n'abataka gye bali kwotumulaku. Eya mancholo nchola abejgo bwire, nibaba bavuba, nibalete benyanza babiyuwawo ngobono oti binenayi nga biretebera envuba gye tutalikomendinga. So that is the challenge. And in my report I say, we need to sit and harmonize fisheries activity in relation to FPU and the best practice. Okay.
Okay.
Where you, Mr. Honorable President?
No,
Excellence, the President.
No, Rachel. Murudeo okwanika enziro z'abasirikale bano. Is Mercy here?
No. She's around, sir.
Mercy, come. Have you ever heard of those stories? Have you ever heard of those stories? Go on the microphone there. Speak in English. Have you heard of those stories?
Yes, Excellency. Those stories are for a long time ago.
They are no longer, it's no longer true.
The name they are talking about
Children they are talking about
The gentleman they are talking about is a fisherman. He has the license. He has boats and they are registered. He is fishing like others.
Okay. Byonna ngenda kubyekenenya kinkoze bulungi okujja wano.
Yesebo.
Ngenda kubayita bona ne chairman wamwe n'omusaiza omululi obaki akavubuka kogedde wano bwe nasanga kogera ebituufu ngenda kukawa medro ngenda kukawa omudaali ate ngenda kukawa n'akasiimo bw'aba ayogera ebituufu. Kale mwebale naye kiri kyenjogeddeko kale go and sit. Chairman, kiri kyenjogeddeko ky'abaana nsangwawo okigamba ki? Kubanga njagala abantu ab'obuvunaanyizibwa abanaatukiikirira okulabirira ennyanja, kubanga nyanja yaffe ffenna mukkiriza nti nange namu omugabo. Mukkiriza nti nange olwakitula nina omugabo mu nyanja eno mukimayite nti omusaiza azwire ebyo olwakitula naye alina omugabo mu nyanja, kubanga ennyanja eno si ya muntu yeisuse ffenna awamu. Naye twagala wabewo ab'obuvunaanyizibwa abatukiikirira kulabirira ennyanja. What do you say?
Your Excellency the President, I have attended a number of meetings in the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture. I am a member of Lakimo. Lakimo is Lake Choga Management Association, which combines edisi jona ejiri ku Lake Choga. Twazwire n'ekiwandiiko under Lakimo that kyetutaka tukuwe ng'ekiwandiiko kino it is in conformity n'endowooza eya fisheries sector. Amateeka agaliwo saawa eno ku kuvuba gayamba ino enforcement than okuyamba ino livelihood ey'omuvubi owa buliido. Traditionally bwe mwaliwo nga tukula okuvuba obuto twali tuvuba bulungi, ekikulu kye twetaaga kufuna baagaabu nga those are the historicals mu fisheries abataka beesiga baidewo tute mu fisheries officer tutele enforce nga tukolera walala aisaawa eno oyagana nti efuika erikulwana ne fisheries marine oyagana ngo omuntu ali kuidda mu ngege niye tujja tubatwala mu kooti tibasobola nakubavunaana ku polisi tibaidde bulungi byanvuba. So to harmonizing your excellency nga bw'okirowooza tuteega abo baasini abalumirwa okuvuba abaiddi nti tulina ogifunamu enanda yaife twena twena Lakimo district sediriwo dikibeemu n'abantu abalala nga democracy bwagikola mu buli kyanfuna ne mu fisheries ekole bwetyo. Tutaakole tutyo bitulemye abataka bajja abagayibwe enforcement ebegayibwe nga tuli kutiidagana abasuubuzi babeeruuyi ne Uganda tulobe ku succeedinga kufunamu. Thank you, Excellency.
Kale mwebale ino ngenda kuyita olukiiko tutereeze ekigambo ekyo. Naye mwena mukiriza nto envuba mbi tugiwere. Envuba mbi tugiwere. Fena tubeere ku nvuba ensa. Ate omujuzo ku nyanja.
President aliko banti muyikiriza nti omwijuzo omungi kunanda mubi oba mulungi?
Mugambe nti mulungi.
Ekyakirobye nti omwijuzo omungi ku mwalo ti mulungi.
Tulina okubeera n'abantu abatono naye abamaite ekyokukola bebo batukiikirira.
Aliko banti batono baidda kuvuba abandi bakole ebindi.
Mwebale ino NRM juu. Akawuka
wansi.
Envuba mbi
wansi.
obwavu
wansi
obugayavu
wansi
okulambala
wansi
kitonda kibomba abakuume.
amina tweyanziza baba.
Your Excellency, with your indulgence, before you go back to your sitting position, that you take a group picture with the board and management and some staff members of Uganda AIDS Commission. Protocol is going to guide in that. Your Excellency, you also asked Dr. Musoba about the statistics of the global prevalence of HIV